So the majority of the executives that can greenlight a project are older white men from upper middle class backgrounds. But you have to also realize that that executive is going to have a junior VP, then he's going to have an assistant, and then there's going to be a producer who's going to have an assistant, and then that assistant probably has an assistant. So if he believes that black films with black leads don't do well overseas, which is what they always say, then he's going to tell that to his junior, who's going to tell that to his assistant. It goes all the way down. So even when that script would have hit the first person's desk, they would have passed on it because it was a film that wouldn't work. You start to end up with this catch-22 because when a film does go overseas, you won't put as many marketing dollars behind it. Why? Because films with black leads don't do well overseas, so it'd be better to minimize your risk by putting less marketing dollars behind it. Another part of the issue, and it is a complex issue, is that there aren't as many black content creators out there trying to make it through the system. This actually mimics the numbers for African Americans getting enrolled into colleges around the country. So only about 20% of African Americans have a college degree. And of those, there's only a few of them that go into the arts. Why do you think this is? Because art programs in inner city schools are some of the first that get cut. Add to that fact that in this town, it really is about who you know. So your middle class counterparts might have uncles, dad's friends, sister's ex-boyfriends, frat bros, cousins, etc., who are working elsewhere in the industry, and they're pulling from a network that you don't have access to just off the jump. How much someone's willing to go out on a limb for you is relative to how close of a connection you have. I'll tell you a story. A friend and I both had scripts in development. I'm hustling to try to keep rent paid, etc., and she was between jobs at the time. So I started to notice she's going to all these parties, she's going to networking events, she's going on ski trips and meeting all these great connections. And so finally I'm like, how is all of this, how are you living? Like, what's happening here? And she goes, oh, well, my grandma has been helping me out, and I'm on my brother's cell phone mobile family plan, and I don't have to pay a car note because I'm driving my dad's old car, and I don't have student loans because my parents helped out with college, and then my auntie Muriel and my uncle have been also helping me out when rent is tight. So she was able to continue to navigate the industry, to continue to meet people, to continue to make connections, while I was trying to keep a job going. A lot of people end up having to get just sort of a day job, which then takes away from the time that they're networking, making connections, and able to work on their content. Now, another part of the issue, yes, again, it is a complex issue, is the lack of support for black filmmakers from other black folks in Hollywood. I once did a study of all the black filmmakers who had films that premiered at the Sundance Film Festival, which is one of the most difficult film festivals to get into in the country. And I asked them, have you been in contact with any of these large companies? And what I found was that most of them couldn't get a meeting. And I guess that's the attitude that you could have, but it just continues to perpetuate the cycle that's already in place. So the final piece of the issue is actually you, the audience. So if you come into the same ice cream parlor and order chocolate, vanilla, strawberry every single time, then yeah, it doesn't make sense to ever make a Chunky Monkey. And so if you're only going to see big budget studio movies and you never read what independent films are coming out, or you never read what films from people of color are coming out, then you're never going to be able to support the people who need your support the most. And I know that everybody downloads, but whenever I go back home to Detroit to hang out with my cousins or my brothers, etc., there is a stack of bootlegs from the barbershop of mostly black films. So if your core audience isn't buying your content and the money isn't trickling back up to you, then it's never going to make sense for Hollywood to start investing in the people if you, the audience, won't choose to invest in them. So all of these points collectively form this issue of why the Oscars are so white. To change the whole system and the whole Oscars so white, you would need to be addressing all of these issues, essentially inventing the pink spoon. Now, lucky for you, I think I've actually invented a pink spoon, and I've come up with a theory. But we don't have time for that right now, so I will get into it in my next video. Until then, keep your eye out for what's really going on. Thank you.